We're live on YouTube. It never gets old, man. It never gets old. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. This
Hello,
is the last
hello.
day of 2025. Oh, my God. Do you believe it? Do you believe it?
I am so ready for this to be done. So in the Chinese zodiac, this has been the year
Yeah.
of the snake, which just basically forces us to get rid of the things that don't serve us anymore, whether we want to or not. We gave it up
Sounds
voluntarily
familiar.
or it got
Sounds
taken. Yeah.
familiar. So, what is the
Finally,
new
just a
year?
little.
The Chinese New Year.
It's going to be the year of the fire horse, starting with
Which means, which means,
so so whereas the year of the snake forced us to shed off a lot of stuff that didn't serve us anymore, the year of the
yeah.
fire horse in the Chinese zodiac, it brings things into motion. So you will not be
Mm.
feeling like you are sitting stagnant anymore. It
Thank God.
demands. Oh, I mean, it's just like getting on a real horse. You've only got so much control of it, right?
Yeah,
So,
so it sounds good. It sounds good. Like everything starts to move, right?
yes,
According to the.
exactly.
Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome if you're familiar with with our live. Welcome back. If you're don't familiar with my channel, with our lives, hello. We happy to have you here. My channel is all about spirituality, but relationships, how those relationships relate to relationship to yourself and with others. And we talk about all the emotional stuff, people pleasing, needing external validation and whatnot, right? So as long as it's
Exactly.
legal, you can talk about it here. This is your safe place. You can ask question in the chat, or if you are watching the replay, feel free to ask question in the comment section. So, Mani, so today's topic is: are you feeling rejected or unwanted? Mm-mm. Yes,
This is a
like have
good
you
one.
ever felt like rejected or unwanted? Even not by people. Sometimes you feel rejected by the universe or by your goals, right? And you think that circumstances, like everything is going against you, right? But even when you don't, hi everyone, even if you don't expect things to go wrong, they are sometimes, right? They are
Ex-
sometimes. So, what do you think about this topic, Mani? And what I just wanted to add that sometimes when we don't expect to fail, and when we do fail, we feel more rejected, right? Who can
Yep.
relate? Who
But
can relate?
oh, I'm pretty sure everybody can, in one
Yes.
regard or another. And I'm pretty sure everybody in their life at least one time, especially when we're young and we're kids, got to got to have the feeling of rejection, of not being included, of not being, wanted, especially if it's in a group of other kids that you really wanted to, when you were a kid that you really wanted to play with or you wanted to be associated with.
Yes.
And when they were like, no, thanks. We're good without you kind of thing. I mean, that hurts. That really,
Yes. And you
really
know what?
hurts.
And you know what? Before we get into it, in this slide, we're going to talk about why the feeling of rejection doesn't mean that something is wrong with you, right? And
Mm,
actually, sometimes it can be the best thing that ever happened to you. Mm-mm.
yes.
You know, and Mani, what you said about earlier, when I was a child, I was bullied. And like being bullied is like the ultimate form of feeling rejected or unwanted. And especially people that got bullied, I know like few of them that I talk to, they carry it into adulthood, right? Because it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You can turn out to be like really successful, like really like with self confidence. But when you think about the stuff that you were getting bullied, or that group didn't want to hang out with you, oh my God, you just you're
Yep.
going to feel like a little child again, right? And this is how it goes. But actually, it's not your fault, right? So,
No.
Okay, so you know what? A lot of the time, feeling rejection, it comes from the belief that we are not good enough, right? That we are not worthy, and especially if we've been experienced those experiences from other people in the past, right? Because
Exactly.
yes, because and it can leave a lot of wounds, and you just like, you know what? I don't know. I think I'm fine to be with. Why people don't want to hang out with me, right?
And this is
So,
where
what do you
like
think
the
about
people
this?
pleasing aspect comes in, because you figure,
Yes,
okay, so I have to, I have to stop being who I am in order to be able to fit in with this crowd that that I feel I
right,
want to fit in with. And now you have to become like hypersensitive and a people pleaser. And when that happens really
right.
early on, sort of thing, yes, that does carry on in the rest of your life, because you find out eventually it kind of serves you, except it's at the expense of who you truly are.
Yes, and you know what? You know what? The thing that sometimes you can feel rejected, even if you are, even there are a lot of people around you,
Hmm.
you can still feel alone and unwanted, right? You can feel transparent. And a lot of the time, unfortunately, like most of our problems comes from our mind and our childhood, right? I'm not pointing fingers here because our parents did their best with what they had, like with the tools they know, right?
Yes.
But a lot of the time we feel transparent because sometimes we grew up in a household that two our parents are really busy, right? And they don't have like the time or attention to give you, or sometimes you just have to change yourself to please them, or sometimes everything is transactional. You need to clean your room to get money, or you need, so you
Yes.
start to feel that if you don't give something, or if you don't overgive, or if you don't do something to be deserving of something, your self-worth is not really that high. And we grow up like feeling like we are transparent, or we need to do something in order for other people to notice us, right? Or we need
Hmm.
to, like a little child that throw a tantrum, right? It just need attention, right? So we grow up that we think that, like, sometimes you think that you have to like be really reactive, or to get someone attention, to do something like, I don't know, something that is out of the ordinary, just to people to notice you, because in your subconscious mind, it's just your little inner child that wants that attention, right?
Yes.
And it's not our fault, because this is how we were programmed,
This is how
right?
we were conditioned. Hmm. Yes,
Exactly.
exactly. So the rejection isn't always direct or spoken. So, like you're saying, it can appear as, silence or distance or being overlooked. And even in like you brought up as well, being in a crowded room, you can still
Yes.
feel rejected. You can still
And
feel
you know
like
what?
not accepted.
And let's talk about rejection from the universe. Let's talk about from our goals. How does it feel when you feel rejected? You're like, I'm doing everything I can. I'm doing everything I want it to happen. I put in a lot of effort, and nothing really happens, right? And actually, the opposite of what you want happens. And you're like, what? No, 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 no. I wasn't like, this is not what I want, but still we get the opposite, and it can trigger, I'm telling you, like from my experience, it can trigger a lot of feelings of rejection, or, oh my God, like, I don't know, the universe is out to get me or something,
Mm,
maybe. You know what? But sometimes rejection, it's a redirection.
I love that one. That's a great one. Rejection is
Yeah,
redirection.
you know what? How many times, let's say in the past, if someone like fired you, right? So, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so bummed, like they fired me. And then you find like the most epic, workplace, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so happy that happened, right? So every time, like now, every time that God, everyone, every time that God is like tells me, you know what, Limor, you don't supposed to be here, and every time that God like pushing me from a certain place, I'm like, you know what? I don't have control. Sometimes you do have control, but sometimes you just feel the urge to do something, to not be in a certain place, even though it feels like familiar and good, but actually you know it's not good for you, like a bad
Hmm.
workplace or whatever. And so I'm telling myself, what I'm telling myself is, you know what? Maybe God is telling me that there's a better place for me. That's why I feel this like feeling of rejection, or that nothing is working out for me, because it doesn't supposed to work out where I am right now, right? So there's a reason that sometimes things get like everything get not everything got gets wrong, not in the way that you wanted them to happen,
Right.
but maybe this is like the best thing that happened to you, because when you feel those emotions, or when like the universe put you in a certain situation that you don't want to be in, maybe that's exactly the place which from there you're going to evolve and expand and find the right place for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Sometimes you need to go through the dark. It just sounds cliche, right? To reach the light. So if you are in a really dark tunnel, you have just to keep moving in this dark tunnel, because otherwise you won't,
Yes.
get yourself to the exit of this tunnel, right? And to see the light. So there's a reason.
Oh,
Hey,
we're sending
Scotland in
good
the
vibes
house.
too. Scotland's in the house. I
Yay.
love it. Sending great vibes to
Feel
Scotland.
free to ask questions. Today's life is about, are you feeling rejected or unwanted? With all of us felt rejected or unwanted in certain point of our lives. And up until today sometimes, right? If someone says no, how do you really feel? Like I admit it, sometimes if people like telling me no, we can't do it or whatever, I feel rejected and hurt.
Even
Even
though
if
it
like,
could, even if it doesn't mean that from that person, it could be,
yes,
like they mean it in a nice way, like, no, sort of thing. But, you take it like, oh, I just put myself out
yeah,
there and I got hurt kind of thing.
yeah, and sometimes it's not really personal, and sometimes I'm telling you, it's the best thing that can happen to you. And we talked about it yesterday, Manny, because
Hmm.
sometimes you feel like a certain group, like let's say when you're a teenager or whatever, a certain group doesn't want to hang out with you or whatever because they are popular and you are not, and you're like, you know what I say, you're not like one of the cool people, right, at school or whatever. So right now, after but when you're a teenager, you really don't have the tools, right? You don't have, most likely you're not going to say, you know what, like f this, f them, it's their loss, because no one really teaches us when we are children, or when we are teenagers, right? So really, one of the powerful keys is to work on your self-worth, because just think about it. If you have like a really high self-worth, and you know your value, and you know what you can give to group of people, or to a certain workplace, or whatever it will be, right, a certain profession or whatever, or people, so you know what you can give. So if someone reject you, if you're going to have like a high self-esteem, you're going to feel like rejected at the beginning, but afterwards you're like, you know what,
That's their
f this,
loss. Yes.
I don't need it, I don't want it. You know what, now even if they come to me and want to hang out with me or whatever, and to make this
Yep.
offer, I don't want it anymore. You know what, so actually it's all about the way we relate to ourselves, because the more you if you're going to have more stronger foundations, not a lot of things are going to shake you. You're not going to be like a leaf in the wind, right?
When you place the value in yourself, sort of thing, and that value that you are giving to yourself does not come from an exterior source, it is really
Yes,
hard to knock. Like, it's
right.
not very easily shaken, by the opinions of others, and that's where the freedom is. But again, like when we're young, we don't have the discernment to be able to. We don't have the life experience behind us, basically, that gives us that elevation to be able to see, the end of our actions, the end of our intentions, ultimately how that's going to play out. So this is
Yes,
something that we gain as we get, as we get older, and we find that not placing our value, or how we perceive ourselves in the hands of of other people,
yes,
sort of thing, like how not doing that gives us the freedom and permission that we need to give ourselves, basically, to keep
yes.
being authentic.
Everyone, feel free to ask questions. And you know
Hi.
what? And you know what? It's sometimes because, like what you just said, sometimes we don't even, I don't like to use the word try, but we don't even try to make an effort because we like telling ourselves, you know what? I'm not going to succeed like anyway, right? So why even trying? I don't have the qualification. I'm not good enough. There are people that are better than me. You know what?
Hmm.
There are people that, whatever, whatever. So we talk ourselves out of even putting ourselves out there, right?
Yeah, because we don't want to get hurt. We don't want to have a lesser opinion of ourselves than we
Yeah,
already
and
do.
we keep ourselves safe, because if I don't try anything and if I keep myself in a certain box, right? So I'm not going
Mm.
to be rejected. I'm going to stay safe, but also we're going to stay miserable. There's a saying, like I said it before, I heard it from someone. The walls that used to keep you safe have become your prison.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And that's such a broad topic, because I mean, everybody at one point or another feels this, and everybody has their own way that they progressed out of it, because not
Yes,
one thing works for everybody, because we're on this individual journey, right? um and sometimes it's, yeah, the rejection, I mean, you feel it right to your core, and then you decide
hmm,
you're going to build those walls, and at that point on, if you're not letting anybody in, the only one that can really hurt you is yourself. And we kind of tend to do that too.
yes. And you know what? And you know what? A lot of the time, we don't want to hear it, but we want everything happen right now, right now, right now. So if it doesn't happen in a certain time, we feel rejected because we're telling ourselves, you know what? By now, it should have happened, and I don't know why it didn't happen. And then it's actually we have a lot of triggers because I think that one of the fundamental emotions,
Mm.
like if a mother turns away from a son when like he's screaming and yelling, "Mommy, mommy," and she's leaving him, and like like with a fear of abandonment. So so when you feel like when someone is saying no or someone is turning his back to you, or you feel like the universe like put obstacles in on your way and nothing really happening, it can trigger a lot of those things, and then you start to feel self-doubt, and you start to feel like fearful, and you start to question yourself, or maybe I'm not good enough, maybe it's not going anywhere, maybe I should quit, or maybe. And you know what, there's thing that I think I heard it in The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, like the most we can feel rejected, the most like the strongest pain that we can feel from other people, from others, is from people.
Hmm.
Like people can inflict a lot of pain on other people.
Which is
Like think
why a lot
about
of
it.
people go and build that wall to begin with, sort of thing. And this is where we start to figure out as well where how to implement boundaries. Once we've had enough, sort of thing. And if
Mm-hmm.
somebody wants to try and continuously, try that boundary, well, boing, sorry, like a flea off my back, sort of thing, like you're gone, not doing it. But again, that's not something that we learn from the get-go. It's something that we acquire when
Yes,
we're a
and then
little bit older.
and when we feel rejected, when we feel those emotions of rejection or being unwanted, what do usually? We seek for this external validation, right?
Hmm.
We're looking for people to give us this like feeling of like, like we are wanted. But, as long as those emotions are dependent on someone or something that is outside of yourself, it's not going to be sustainable, and it's not going to last for very long, right? You can get a hit of dopamine, right? But you know what? And especially I see in this area of the social media, like
Yes.
this generation, that they born into the social media and the comparison and stuff, and thinking that their life sucks because they see everyone, right? Like
Hmm.
uploading stories like they're happy and everything is good, but they don't really know what's going on. And you end up thinking, oh, they have like a good life, and I'm like, my life sucks. Or,
Hmm.
I don't feel good about myself. But actually, it's not like this. Like everyone is going through challenging time. So, in different areas. And what you see on social media, I'm not saying that it's fake, and also it's just the highlights. Excuse me.
Nope. No, absolutely. So here's the thing as well. The rejection is, again, and we talk about this a lot, because our lives are always go, 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 go sort of thing. And my husband will attest to this. Like I'm always go, 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 go. And he's trying to tell me you need to slow down. Like,
Exactly.
where's the fire sort of thing? Like, take a minute, breathe. We don't need to race wherever it is that we're going or whatever it is that you want to do. You need to, and this is where I'm learning to slow down. I really have to consciously think about it because all my life I've been high energy sort of thing. It's honoring the pause. So sometimes the rejection as well is not a rejection of you per se. I want to the way to maybe look and rephrase that, any
Yes.
type of rejection you may feel, is an invitation to honor the pause. And the thinking about these things isn't necessarily a bad thing either. Um,
Yes.
Sort of thing. It's just look for the positive. When you look for the positive, even if it's a very small thing and it sounds incredibly delusional, focusing on that positive aspect of being rejected, like, okay, so those aren't my people, but this or something
Right.
better is coming for me,
Right.
sort of thing. That's, and that goes for, love life, it goes for business, it goes for artistic pursuits, it can go for family, sort of thing, like just.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you know what? A lot of the time, when we feel rejected by others, it's not really us, because sometimes, especially if there's a like stranger or something, because sometimes people will reject you or reject an idea that you have, or reject like, and I don't know, whatever, or something that you want to contribute, or no, 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 it's not, because you're saying something or you remind them of something or someone, and that creates like a trigger, right? So you just represent what triggers them. Oh, like she reminds me my second grade teacher. The way she
Hmm.
just said it. No, no. You know, so sometimes it's just what you say. It's just what you represent to them. That's the reason they act the way they are. But don't even try to understand or figure out why they act the way they are.
That's
Just
not your
tell me,
job.
that's not your job. So every time that like I feel those emotions of being rejected, or like it doesn't mean it can be like any area. I just remind myself my self-worth. And I talk to myself to the in front of the
Yes.
mirror, and I'm like, you know what, Limor, remember your worth. You know what you have to do, you know what you have to contribute, you know what you have to give, right?
Yep. Exactly.
And there's no one else job, personal cheerleader.
Yes.
That's your
You are
job.
you are your biggest cheerleader. When you find that you don't rely on that outside validation sort of thing, like you cheer yourself on even for the smallest things, again, this is, this is where the freedom is. Um,
Exactly. And you know what? A lot of the time when things are not going your way, sometimes we think that we are ready for something, but we are not really ready, right? So
exactly.
so sometimes the universe will give us like what we perceive as obstacles or setbacks, just for us to do a little bit of more of inner work, just to expand and to become, to embody the version of ourselves that can hold that energy or whatever we want to accomplish, right? Just to
Exactly.
be the person that can have the capacity to
To
experience
appreciate.
and yes, to sustain the thing that we want. Because if we receive the thing that we want and we are not really ready for it, it's not going to be lasting, right?
Or it's going to be very challenging. You do
Yes,
a
so
whole lot of
sometimes,
growing right then, right there.
exactly. So sometimes the delays or the setbacks is just in order for us to evolve a little bit more, or maybe to appreciate things a little bit more. Or
Hmm.
have you ever like money? Have you ever like it happened to me when you saw that you don't want something, or no, when you think that you do want something, and then time goes by, and then you know what? Maybe I don't want it right now. So it's okay to have a little bit more of time for you to evolve and to be like, to be like this experience has to be normal for you. Because when you are too excited about it, you are in the duality, in the up and down, right? Oh, I have it, I'm excited. I don't have it, I'm down, I'm sad. But it's all
Yeah.
about finding the neutral state of mind that you are not really affected by it, right?
You're fine
So
with or
I'm good
without.
either way. Yeah, I'm good
Hmm.
either way. So those group of people wants to hang up with me. Okay, whatever, I'm good. They don't want. God bless them. You know what I'm
And send
saying?
them on their way. So here's
Yeah.
the one point that you brought up yesterday when we were talking is like, so rejection doesn't mean you're unworthy. This is the one thing I loved. This was a great point, is that rejection is often misalignment. It doesn't mean it's a
Mhm.
no. It just means it's a no right at that moment. Doesn't mean it's going to be
Yes,
a no in the future. So some people or situations simply can't meet you where you are emotionally or energetically, meaning again it's a misalignment. So just
exactly.
have a little faith in yourself, have a little patience. The things that you decide are yours, you just decide that they're yours. You're not in charge of how that thing comes to you or when. Your job is to put the desire out there, and your desire also begins with the you are worthy to have the things that you desire. And
Exactly,
that circles back to the rejection.
exactly. And you know what? A lot of the time when we feel rejected or unwanted, it's because we are so attached to the outcome,
Mhm. Yes,
right? But
because that's what
my,
we've been taught.
yeah, yeah, we grew up like you need to be attached, you need to have like good grades, you have to be like successful, you have to be that, and all this pressure, right?
Mhm.
And then they like, oh, I don't know why you have like panic attack, right? Because all
Oh
this
my gosh.
pressure. But you know what?
Yes.
Like my mantra, every time my mantra, even if I don't believe it, even if I don't feel good about a certain situation, I'm telling myself, you know what? I'm good either way. Whether it
Yep.
happens, whether I'm good either way. I know my value, I know my worth, I know what I have to give. Like if even if you just, want a business to open a bit or whatever, I know what I can give. I know my worth, I know my value, right? So you know what?
So,
You
but
know what,
especially
universe?
when you're I mean, it's when you're younger, it's a little harder,
Of
to
course,
be
of
able
course.
to develop that type of detachment. It doesn't come naturally to everybody. Some people have it, when they're younger and they're ahead of the game. But a lot of this we have to learn with the
Exactly.
tools that we were given and learned from those that we looked up to, and trusted sort of thing. So, you know, your worth isn't earned. You decide
Exactly.
what your worth is, and being chosen into a
Exactly.
group really doesn't
And
define your value.
especially love. It can be romantic love, it can be love from your friends or group
Yes.
of people. You don't need to do anything to earn their love. You don't do, I mentioned it before. I heard someone talk about it like a baby.
Hmm.
Does a baby need to do something to be worthy of love?
It's
No,
like,
you are
nope.
worthy just because you exist, right? So if you are, let's say that this, like maybe this video, someone that watched this video is a teenager or whatever, just know, I want you to know that it's not, there's nothing wrong with you. If someone rejects you, it just means that he's not the right person for you right now. It's a friend, and you know what? When you just accept it and you create space, the right people will come into your life, right?
Hmm. Exactly. Your vibe attracts your tribe. You learn that, and it becomes super awesome,
Yeah, and you
actually.
don't need to change yourself, and you don't need to do things that are not in alignment with who you are, and you don't need to go out of your way, and you don't have to overgive, and you don't have to, like to beg people to be with you, and you don't have to chase. No,
Exactly. Now that is being, if it, all the things that you just mentioned, is having an attachment to an outcome. And when you are trying harder, when you are chasing, when you are in pursuit of something, when you are, that you're attached to a specific outcome sort of thing, which is how we're taught things work. When we're young, we find out that's not necessarily the
yes,
case. That's
but
not
you know
true.
what? But especially, I said it like, especially this generation, I see them like they're so sensitive, right? Because there's a lot of distraction from the social media and the media and your friends, right? And you're so sensitive to them. Like if someone says something, or they didn't like your post, or they didn't make a comment, or they
Mhm.
block you on social media, or they stop following you on Instagram. This is like people, it's like life and death for them because their identity is now linked to this, to those like all those social media platforms and stuff. It's not
Yep.
like at in our time when you just got home and there's not like a WhatsApp group or whatever. So if you got bullied at school and then you got home and this is like your safe place. But now, no, they can talk about you on social media. There's like a WhatsApp group. They can talk about and like sometimes my heart you know
Oh
goes
gosh,
out
it
to them.
hurts. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're so sensitive because they are so exposed to this reality.
Exactly. You know, I do know a lot of I do know people that, they have sons, daughters, nieces, nephews, and they are glued onto their social media, and a lot of their value is defined by what they have or who is following them or how many followers they have.
Yes.
And, and that becomes their currency. It becomes the basis for how they base their worth. Well, what happens if it goes away? Where is your definition of
Yes.
worth coming from? It needs to come from yourself first. So
Right.
number one, rejection is not, as she said, rejection is a redirection. Yeah, it's going to hurt, but it doesn't need to define you. And you also don't need to, to use that um as a basis for, building walls and not letting anybody in. No person is an island, but you are your biggest cheerleader. You need to look after you first. So,
Right.
yeah, when you're acknowledge the feeling that you're being rejected and acknowledge the hurt that it gives you, but then just release it. I'm not saying don't deal with it. See where it is that's hurting, sort of thing, and address that and just say, you know what? I'm not under threat right now. Like I am
Exactly.
safe. I am safe.
So just
Everything
allow
that's
allow the emotion and start to talk to yourself with kindness, right? And give yourself what you want. I'm like a broken record. Give yourself what you want to experience from others, right? Because everything is a projection. The way you are treating yourself, eventually people will treat you the same way that you are treating yourself, right? Because everything is internal being projected outside, right? So everything is a projection of your inner world, right? So
yes.
just talk to yourself with kindness, right? And one of the big keys is to stop abandoning yourself. So what does it mean if you want to be true to yourself and stop abandoning yourself? It starts to, like I say all the time, start to express yourself, right? Without because a lot of the time we have like a fear of rejection, so we stay silent. We don't do anything. But this is how you abandon in yourself. And when you abandon in yourself, you're rejecting yourself. And when you reject yourself, others will reject you too. So I'm not talking here, like, of course, to the young demographic. Like, if you've been like a lot of your life in your life and you like more experience, right? So maybe when you were young, you didn't know better, but now you do better. You do know better, right?
Yeah, when you know
So
better, you
just
do better. Definitely.
yeah, you know what? Just this is I'm doing it from time to time, but in the past, like when went through my spiritual awakening, I started to become my own best friend, right? So I can like buy something nice to eat and to eat dinner in front of a movie or whatever. I don't care, like, you know, everyone, right? So I started to be my own best friend. And this is the And because everything is a projection, when you start to be your own best friend and when you appreciate yourself and appreciate what you have to offer, you know what? In time, others will too. The right ones.
The right ones. Yes, come along at the right time. And this goes back to the whole everyone is either a lesson or a blessing.
Exactly. So, Mona, because this is like the last day of 2025, just say something that you think that maybe our audience needs to know.
Okay, a lot of things that we experience, our reaction to it is actually based in fear because we're taught we have to be, safe, and a lot of news and social media is based on control through fear. Well, once you have that peace and that confidence and that authenticity in yourself, you find you don't need to be part of that system that keeps you locked in that cycle anymore. And there are people out there that might be afraid of getting disconnected from that because that's all they've ever known. And I can
Right.
confidently say on the opposite side of that is just it's peace, it's freedom, it's authentic connection. It's becoming authentic to who you are and not being afraid to be authentic because you attract the right people into your life at the right time for the right reasons. So don't be
Exactly.
afraid. Go, you
Yes.
are worth it.
Yes. So, what I have to say, right,
Yes. Let's
at
hear it.
the last day of 2025, you know what? Don't be afraid to start things that like looks like they're a big thing for you or dreams or desires. Just take a small step because sometimes you want to do something like you have like the new year's resolution or whatever,
Hmm.
and a lot of the time people will take you, yeah, oh no, it's going to take a long time, you don't know what you're going getting into or whatever, but you know what, time will pass anyway, so just start. Even though
Yes.
you think it's going to take a lot of time, you don't know the magical thing that can happen in the unknown. So allow yourself, excuse me, allow yourself to be in the unknown and take one small step, 1 second, that will make you feel better now. And don't think about the outcome or how long it's going to take. If you feel a passion for something, if you have a desire for something, just start small, and you'll see
Exactly.
that the universe will have your back. And 2 years from now, you're going to be in a completely different place,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just start small, do things that you do have control over, right? Instead of thinking about the big things, right? And if things are not going your way, or you feel rejected, or you feel unwanted, just tell yourself that this is just part of the journey and it's only temporary and it's not going to last forever, right?
Exactly.
Because
This is not going to
sometimes
be
you
your
need
permanent
to,
state.
yeah, sometimes you have to make space for better things to come in. So at the time, it seems like rejection, but it's just making space for a better things to come. So the best is yet to come.
Yes.
Start small, be grateful. Like, oh my God, be grateful and be in the present moment and tell yourself that right now everything is okay. If you think that you don't have things to be grateful for, just think about the thing that you do have. Even if it's little, even if it's like seem like, like you wake up in the morning is a gift, right? You have your breath, you have your body, you have the sun, you have your health. So where you put your focus on, it's going to expand. So choose to put your focus on the thing that will be beneficial for you and the thing that you do have rather than the thing that you don't have.
Exactly.
So yeah, and then let the magic happen.
Yep. And learn to give thanks and be grateful for things that haven't come into your life yet. Remember,
Yes.
the
Be grateful
just
in
because,
advance.
yes, yeah, that gratitude brings things in.
So let's
And
let's do like gratitude money. Thank you for the most amazing year of 2026 for everyone
yes,
watching this,
yes,
right?
yes, I'm thankful and grateful for like a super amazing 2026. The year was like off the charts, fantastic in every area. Yeah, you give thanks for that and you feel it ahead of time. Watch the magic unfold.
The best is yet to come. So we
This is
love
true.
you guys. So I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone because we started our lives in 2025. So it's so
Yep.
exciting. Now we're going into 2026. So I want to just to thank everyone for watching our lives, right? And
Thank
keep
you.
coming to our lives and watching the replays and all your engagement in the chat, right? And all your wonderful comments. So we are so grateful for you. We wish you a happy
And
2026.
safe and growing
Yes,
2026. Yes, very
yes,
definitely. We're going to do our heart.
yes,
Back it up, back it up, back it up. There we go. That's good. That'll work.
yes. So thank you everyone for watching. If you have questions, feel free to leave a comment, right? We wish you a wonderful 2026, right?
Exactly.
Be safe.
Definitely. We'll see you next year. Bye
Yes, love you
bye.
everyone. Bye bye.
Loves. Mwah. Loves. Bye.
Bye bye.